This is The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line on 938 Live.
Now, professionals in the finance and accounting industries can expect a 15% increase in pay when they decide to change jobs. That's according to human resources consultancy Robert Walters Singapore in their mid-year market report. Its managing director, Toby Falston, tells 938 Live's Travis Teo that Singaporeans and PRs working in these sectors are in even higher demand due to the fair consideration framework. Under the framework, employers have to consider Singaporeans for job vacancies, including advertising their openings in a Nation Jobs Bank website. This before looking for an overseas candidate.
What we've basically seen is obviously an inflated demand for Singaporean candidates, PRs, which in turn obviously has meant the candidate market has become extremely competitive. And within certain disciplines, there is an unquestionable salary increment for some people who are moving jobs.
And which are these?
Well, in particular, I mean, the areas where we've seen the greatest increment is in areas like compliance and risk. The reasons for that is that we've seen tightened regulations within the financial services sector in particular. And obviously, that's not just Singapore, but that's globally. But within Singapore, clearly driven through MAS. And what that has meant, obviously, is increased job opportunities within those areas. Now, that in line with, obviously, a real focus on local candidates and supporting and hiring from within the Singapore community has meant that candidate pool has become extremely competitive.
So would you say that it is very much an employees market at the moment?
Yes, it's a candidate-driven market at the moment, and I think one of the things that we're very focused on is not just looking at the domestic local talent pool, but also looking at the overseas Singaporean talent pool, and focusing heavily on how we can attract and encourage overseas Singaporeans to return home to what is a very buoyant job market at the moment.
And how do you think that will happen? How do you attract overseas Singaporeans back to Singapore?
Well, I think if people are obviously aware that there's good opportunity over here, if earning potential has increased in certain areas, then clearly that's going to be an enticement back. You know, there are still some challenges in other parts of the world economically, which might mean that the opportunities in other parts of the world are perhaps not as enticing as they might be in Singapore. What we're definitely seeing is obviously the number of available jobs increasing.
Any particular sectors for those Singaporeans that are returning from overseas?
I would say the investment management market, private wealth management market is very strong in Singapore. I think investment banking has obviously undergone some change. You know, we are seeing some banks offshoring some of their middle office, back office functions to other parts of the world, perhaps at cheaper cost. See, in terms of other sectors, pharmaceuticals, we've definitely seen some hiring activity there. And also we see quite a lot of hiring activity within the industrial sector as well.
Managing Director Robert Walters Singapore, Toby Falston, joining us on The Bottom Line.